Hello everyone, my name is Mindy Law, and today I'll be presenting on Wilfredo Lam's painting Fiancee at Kiriwina. This piece of art was created in 1949 and is an oil on canvas. In my presentation, I'll be touching on symbolic interpretations of the piece as well as biographical information of the artist himself that may have influenced the creation of this painting. At first glance, the painting features a mystical anthropomorphic figure seated facing the right and their back towards us. Placed on a pale blue background, the figure has a trumpet-shaped head with a beard, long mane decorated with barrettes and feathers, and a tail tucked between round buttocks. Instead of having eyes on either side of its snout, its two minuscule eyes are placed on the same plane. The creature's hand is oversized, with long, stretching fingers. It is seemingly meant to represent an elegant young woman and a bride to be, as the title suggests, but is clearly a highly stylized portrait. Lam is best known for such surrealist and cubist depictions that fuses Afro-Cuban and Santeria themes. Born in 1902 in Sagua La Grande in Cuba, Wilfredo Lam lived in Havana and attended the Escuela de Bellas Artes. Lam's father was a Chinese immigrant while his mother was of Afro-Cuban and Spanish descent. His multicultural background with Chinese, European, and African roots greatly influenced the subject of his painting. Lam's artistic journey was influenced early on in Europe, where he was part of the avant-garde scene in Barcelona and Madrid. In Paris in the 1930s, he made lasting friendships with modern artists like Pablo Picasso. We can see how he has utilized Cubism in his work since then, with absurd geometric angles that contorts the original subject, as seen in this painting. Additionally, Lam also met Aimé Césaire in France, where he became exposed to the Negritude movement, a movement that aimed to affirm Black identity and culture. Lam was likely one of the first artists that began to realize how the modernist and cubist movement was founded upon visual language originating from traditional African art, yet completely dismisses its symbolic cultural heritage. These encounters ultimately fueled his unique artistic language, which combined elements of African folklore and spirituality. In the 1940s, Lam returned to Cuba, where his work began to take a shift, and he began to center the Afro-Cuban experience. Between 1947 to 1950, Lam developed this repeating motif in his paintings, which is the femme cheval, or female horse. Within an Afro-Cuban context, the femme cheval can be interpreted as an orisha, or spirit, which possesses worshippers in Santeria rituals. The spiritual transformation is often referred to as being ridden like a horse. Within Chinese culture, the horse could also hold another significant iconographic meaning for Lam, since he is also of Chinese heritage. They are a common motif that is seen decorating ornate sculptures, ink paintings, and even discussed in poetry as well. In mythology, they were often believed to guide people on spiritual journeys. Despite the contorted cubist rendition, the femme cheval still has overtly feminine features that are both sexual and suggestive, like the protruding buttocks, arched back, and prominent breasts. During this time, Cuba was continuously portrayed as a playground and pleasure land for Westerners, with beautiful scenery and beautiful women. Mulatto women were considered exotic, and as a result, many turned to prostitution. Lam likely believed in decolonization and regaining dignity for his people, which aligned with his allegiance to the Negritude movement. The movement in part sought to resist against Western imperialization by revolting against the Western invaders and the Western gaze. By depicting a beautiful woman instead as a horrifying, monstrous creature, Lam is in one way rebelling against stereotypes set upon his culture and protesting against the beauty of Cuba, including Cuban women, to be objectified and sexually exploited by foreigners. That's all I have on this painting by Wilfredo Lam today, and thank you so much.